Our new hero type has been revealed for Fire Emblem heroes. Attuned Heroes are coming soon, and we're actually getting two of them to start with, Attuned Triandra and Attuned Peony. There was no Fae channel, but there is an in-game notification with a little more detail. There isn't a lot of new features to dissect because Attuned Heroes are very similar to Rearmed Heroes, which have taken the game by storm in the past year. It's not so much the rearm units themselves being crazy top tier, but it's due to their unique skill inheritance abilities that are super valuable. Attuned Heroes are piggybacking on that success, albeit they aren't bringing arcane weapons. Instead of strong inheritable weaponry, Attuned Heroes introduce a brand new X skill slot to Fae. What is it with birds and the letter X? The X skills are formerly called Attuned skills, and they are inheritable. Just like Rearmed Heroes, you can use Attuned Heroes for skill inheriting, and you get to keep the Attuned Hero afterwards. This is excellent if you just like the unit themselves. It doesn't seem like the attuned skills have any prerequisites, but do take note they have class restrictions. Attack Oath Echo, for example, is only usable by infantry and flyers. Let's take some time to discuss any other details and questions you may have about these new attuned heroes and skills. First off, just to reiterate, attuned heroes appear to be functionally the same as rearmed heroes. You will keep them after using Elite Inheritance, which is just the official name for the unique skill inheriting going on here. If you want to use them again for Elite Inheritance, you can merge another copy of the same attuned hero who has not used their Elite Inheritance yet. You may wonder, why would you do this? Can't you just use Elite Inheritance 2 separate times, which are 2 copies? Yes, you can do that. However, people have been using Rearmed Heroes to feed other skills at the same time. For example, you can give Rearmed Ophelia, number 1, times Pulse 4. She can then pass on her Arcane Eclipse, Special Spiral 4, and times Pulse 4 if you have their prereqs on your receiver. If I try to skill inherit with a different Ophelia number 2 copy, that one does not have times Pulse 4. You can now merge copy number 2 though into copy number 1. Ophelia number 1 can now pass on her skills again, which includes the times Pulse 4, which she does not have by default. The same idea will apply to our new attuned heroes. You cannot stack Elite Inheritance uses, you must use them up one by one. Next detail, only attuned heroes can use attuned skills with exclusive skills. This does not include weapons, but it's referring to exclusive passives or assists or specials. As an example, when Tribe Claude has Deep Star as his exclusive B skill, you can give him the new Deathblow Echo attuned skill. However, he cannot equip both of those at the same time. You don't want to make this mistake. Same deal with arcane weapons. This will lead into the next question I had, which is, will attuned skills affect arena scoring? We don't know. This was not addressed in the in-game notification. However, it was mentioned that attuned skills come pre-learned once you do inherit them. They're not going to cost SP to learn, which is the scoring factor for skills. That probably implies attuned skills will not affect arena scoring. However, don't take that as the truth for now. If they do end up affecting arena score, then have fun figuring that out. For some other details, like Rearmed Heroes, Attuned Heroes will not enter the permanent 5-star pool. They are only summonable when they are the focus of a banner. In Binding Worlds, if you were to spend an Otherworld Bond on someone's proxy, then the Forma will keep their attuned skill if they had one. That's very nice. In Seer's Snare, attuned skills will not be sealed off at the very start of a run. They are just active always. That's pretty much the gist of our new attuned heroes. If you understand how Rearmed Heroes work, it's the same thing, just for a new skill slot instead of an inheritable weapon. Overall, I don't think it's a surprise they want to continue the general trend of Rearmed Heroes, which is that every copy summoned is extremely valuable. Also, new hero types mean new alt opportunities for all our Fire Emblem lords. Now we'll talk about what these attuned skills actually entail. However, so far they don't seem as enticing as an arcane weapon, at least outright. However, I think the idea is that old units get to access to another skill slot to combine with an arcane weapon to try and compete with the new era of power creep. Is that enough? I guess we'll see. Since we're here, let's briefly talk about our new banner units. First up, Rearmed Sonia is bringing the Arcane Green Tome. She's a green infantry mage once again, and yes, she's all about nuking. Her unique A skill grants +8 flat stats, so Sonia has a similar stat spread like Brave Soren. Not the highest base speed, not great physical bulk, but very high attack and res. Arcane Caliburnus has 14 might, accelerates specials, and grants +5 stats, a free follow-up, and breath type cooldown. It also has low attack and res. Extremely simple tome, usable by pretty much anyone, and more cooldown perks for a mage can be fun. For Sonia's unique A skill, she will get those flat +8 to all stats. On turn 1, she gets -2 cooldown and loses 2 HP. Every other turn, she's gonna get -1 cooldown and lose 1 HP instead. Blazing Wind will charge on turn 2. Beyond Witchery grants no guards, so Sonia can recharge AoEs every player phase since her basic attack after the special will give -2 cooldown. The loss in HP will proc Escape Route 4, so Sonia has a 3 range warp and Kanta 1. With her highest res, she can proc the new attack and res ploy 3, same deal as the other dual ploy, just different stats. Very Shadows of Valentia flavored kit for Sonia, HP loss for using magic, and the wild witchy warp mechanics. Next up, the only new 5-star going into the permanent pool is Mycen. I really like his artwork here, and he'll join the Slow Lance Cav Club with Duso, Geralt, etc. At least from his kit, I'm not expecting much of any speed for Mycen. His Worldly Lance has Slaying, and he can grant +6 defense from his field boss and a low status every turn to nearby allies. He inflicts attack and defense debuffs based on 20% of his defense at start of combat with an extra -6 on top. He then has a free follow-up and inflicts Guard. Really basic tank weapon. Mycen has Bonfire and Attack and Defense Clash 4, which are nice. We finally now get Joint Close Guard. It's been more than 2 years since Joint Distant Guard. I don't know what took so long. Perhaps spoilers, but Attuned Peony's description mentioned Triandra would awaken Peony's new powers. Some didn't think we had enough time for Peony 2, Ginungagap, and a new Triandra 2, so there was speculation that Triandra was going to be some kind of dual partner for the new hero type. Well, they just threw 2 of the new hero type at us, so that solved that issue. Attuned Triandra is a sword flying dancer. It looks like she will retain high attack and speed because her kit is pretty offensive. On the support side, her weapon inflicts -5 speed and defense in combat on foes within 3 rows or columns. It also deals 5 damage to them as they begin combat. This is kind of like if they were on a flame tile, so feel free to try and stack it with Flared Sparrow. From her dance, Triandra has a Spectrum -5 debuff, Guard, and Sabotage Ruse. Reminder, Sabotage is just full penalty doubler, so she can kinda inflict -15 speed and defense on foes in total. If you can get closer, speed and defense hold technically is even more debuffing. Now for her own combat, Triandra's sword has Slaying, +5 stats, and 20% speed as true damage on hit. She will also get the 5 pre-combat damage and her debuffs too. She now has Attack and Speed Clash 4 for stats, and brings Flow Refresh 4 to the game. Same offense no follow-up effect with 10 HP healing, now with -4 speed and defense debuffs and 40% DR for 1 hit. That's an excellent upgrade for the tier 4. Now we get to our first new attuned skill. Deathblow Echo is quite basic, it's just Deathblow 2. When initiating, you get +4 attack in combat. We are starting off simple, but +4 attack is +4 attack. For Triandra, you can inherit all her top skills in one go, but it's a bit tough. Deathblow Echo takes up 1 slot. The other 3 have prereqs, which aren't really free-to-play friendly. Peony 2 has officially become Attuned Peony. She's an axe flyer with high attack and speed. For support, Peony's axe offers +5 attack and speed in current directions and 5 HP healing after combat. Her new dance grants +4 field buffs, the regular warp status, and Kanto 1 to the danced allies and allies in line with Peony and her target. Essentially, same as before, now at Kanto support. Peony brings crossbow speed for extra long range debuffs, and she has Rock Slide Dance 3 as well. If I understand correctly, this tier 4 dancer B skill gives the dancer themselves Kanto 1 after they use their dance. The ally will get +6 defense from his field boss and the dodge status. Very neat upgrade. For her own combat, Peony's axe has Slaying, +5 stats, 40% DR for 1 hit, and 5 HP healing after combat. If in line with an ally when she fights, she gets +4 to all stats as an extra bonus. She has Attack and Speed Unity for stats, and to proc Unity, Peony's attuned skill is Attack Oath Echo. It basically is half of the Oath 4 C skills. You have the 2 range to work with for the +6 attack self buff and the warp status. No extra in combat stats. For flyers, if you ever wanted to run a Rain and Oath C skill at the same time, here's your chance. Infantry can now run something like Time's Pulse while still having warp capabilities. Inheriting from Peony is simple if you do not want Rock Slide Dance 3. Attack and Speed Bond and Spur Speed are free-to-play accessible. If you want all top skills, Rock Slide Dance 2 is only from Dancer Elincia, a super old seasonal unit. She is a normal 1 Divine Code option, but not everyone may have that still. If you can get it though, Attuned Peony has a very solid support offering for the older dancers, infantry and flying ones especially, since they can get Attack Oath Echo. We will be diving further in depth next time in the banner breakdown. At the moment, no news about instant demotes, but there is a chance we get 2 since we have 2 non-Shadows of Valentia characters taking up space on the banner. The Grand Hero battle is Marla, who is one of Sonia's sisters, something that means we'll get Hestia. Marla looks like a typical Grand Hero battle Red Infantry mage, so that doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Hopefully she'll bring something unique to talk about. Now, what are your thoughts on the new Attuned Hero type? Exciting, worrying? What units would you give the new Attuned skills, or we can call them the X skills for fun? What about Sonia's Arcane Green Tone? Personally, I'm not immediately drawn to any unit or skills for inheriting here. Obviously, any new Attuned skill is useful because it's a brand new slot, which is just extra power, but it doesn't immediately grab me like say Arcane Weapon does. Now, Attack Oath Echo would be amazing on just about any units, but for now, I may end up waiting. I did kind of want to summon on the Halloween banner, so I personally may go back to that. Now, that's all I got to say for now. Thank you for watching. Be back soon to talk about our new units more. See you next time.